Okay, when we're supposed to do fitting or make a sample or drape, this is what we're gonna be doing. On a mannequin, it automatically tells you where the center front is, where the princess from the shoulder is, and side seam and the side back, all of them. And for instance, for draping, we're gonna be doing like this. We're gonna be giving a little bit, like inch and a half, maybe, and kind of pin here, so it won't move, like that. And we're gonna be going all the way up. I'm gonna kind of pin it here so it won't move too much. See, because we have different curves and women have bust, and see what happens here, we have to have this here. So what I'm trying to do is to go over and match up with center front, and I'm pinning here in order to create this curve. I need to use my scissor to kind of curve it like this, and then you can always see where the curve, the original curve is here. This is what you do. You cut a little bit, make the fabric to drape, continue, and you continue all the way till it kind of sits beautifully like here. See how nice it is here? So the next thing you do is you need to mark your shoulder line. Shoulder line is over here. When you touch it, you can feel it on this other side. You can either go ahead and kind of fold on a line, so you would be more meticulous when it comes to that point, and make a line here, visual line. That's my shoulder. You can always cut out the rest. I'm just cutting like half an inch seam allowance over there. Okay, for the future, you know, you need to have that line. You need to mark your neckline. Okay, now we have this area all nice and clean. Now we need to do our armhole. So when you come to this point, see what happens here? We're gonna be ending up having a dart in order to make, you know, the bust area to fit, and another dart here. But instead of having a dart, we're gonna be cutting it out in here, meaning we're doing the princess. And when I'm touching here, I can feel the line and the apex. Apex is the highest point of the bust. So you mark on that. So later on, you would say, this is my point where it's gonna be putting two pieces, side and the front together. And then you're gonna be continuing copying the line, this line that is inside. Okay? Okay, now what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be cutting this out. I'm doing ½ inch away. Okay. So now I figured out okay. So for here also, you can always cut the extra out. Okay. So whenever you're doing something, you need to, like, once you take this out, you might forget where you put things. So while you're doing this, you might make notches, you might make notes, like where things are. Usually in this kind of a neckline, hardly ever you can find people who wear this kind of a neckline that is that tight. You can always say this is the original neckline. Just put ON and remember that ON would be original neckline. Just put it somewhere else. That's what it means. And over here you say this is the apex, or this is the bust. You already would know as a notch here. You can make a notch. A notch is always done like this, okay? And then for here, sometimes some people like it when it's all nice and tight. I might even make another notch mark that is telling me this is the under bust. So I'll do that too, just for my own notes. So, okay, now the front is done. We need to do the side. For the side, I prepared another piece of fabric. Always remember, every little piece that goes on your top or on your bottom, doesn't matter, it has to be on a grain line. See, I already marked the grain line on my fabric, so it automatically tells me, okay, this is my straight line. Okay, I'll figure out, because I need to have this part covered. Do you see? Okay. This is what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna be bringing my grain line straight down, and I'm gonna pin it somewhere here so that stays there for me, so it doesn't move. Can I have more pins, please? Okay, now this is the tricky part. We need to figure out where things are gonna be going to be able to fit everything. Thank you very much. So first, see how I do all the grain line all the way to the shoulder. I just kind of put a pin here so it won't move. And this is the tricky part. First I'll do the bottom, and I'll do all the way to the waistline, pin so it won't move, and then start marking. Oh, also I need to do the bust. I would pin it right where I made my apex point. Now, see, it all kind of matches up. The next thing we do is, when you kind of feel it, you know where the line is. I'm not just guessing this. I'm not just coming out with the line. So what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna feel it, and then I'm gonna continue marking it. So when I come to this point, still I make my cross, so I know that's my bust, the apex area. And then I continue from here I mark to figure that out, and my waistline. Okay, and then it comes to the shoulder intersection here, and continuation of the shoulder here. That's it for now. And once I'm cutting all this extra out, I'm gonna figure out my one moment. Yeah, my underarm. That's what I meant. Okay, so cutting out all the pieces that are not going to be needed for now. Okay. At this point, all these are matching. Okay. Now I'm ready to start cutting my underarm. Um, Usually, if I were to do it, I know where it is, I'll just cut it. But for you guys, for the beginners, always mark it where the armhole is. Then again, for the armhole for this one and the neckline for that one, this is not a human, actual human size. This can be changed according to the, when you're doing your pattern, your fitting. So this is what I'll do. Continue marking on the line all the way. Okay. Now that I can see my lines better, I'm just gonna be cutting on it. Okay, the same for sides. I'm just leaving a little bit for seam allowances. Okay, now we have that fitted. And instead of the mannequin, in the future, you can fit pretty much on anything and come up with the pattern. Okay. Now, when we go to the back, we do the same thing for the back. I already pre-made my pieces that goes for the back. I still did 1 inch kind of a seam allowance. We can call it a seam allowance.
Put it over the table to get the crease?
Yes, this
I
is
missed
what.
that part.
Yes, I'm gonna be folding it halfway, make a crease like that, it stays. Make another crease to finish it off. Okay, that's it. Now the crease part works for me. I don't have to iron it. Okay, the center back, as we did the center front, goes to the center back line on the mannequin. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to figure out if we have enough fabric for the shoulder to cover up, and we pin. Okay, continue pinning all the way so that holds nicely. Just because we don't have a bust on the back, so we just continue pinning all the way to the bottom, to the waistline. Okay, same here. What I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be figuring out where my curve on my neckline is. Just gonna be pinning here like this. See, my fabric sits beautifully. Then I'm just kind of chopping this out. I don't need that. And kind of, can you see? Doing that so I can have more room to do my draping. Okay, now see how nicely it sits. The next thing you do is you mark the neckline. Then again, this is not a final neckline. Most probably for normal human it will go somewhere like this, and this is really up to your design. Here you go. Now we have the neckline. The next thing I would do is okay, the shoulder. The same way I showed you for the front, you can always fold it like this. Figure out where that is with your fingers. Do the little crease. The crease stays there. Next thing you do, you go back to your crease, make the mark so you know where your shoulder is, and then cut the rest out. Okay, now your shoulder works. Okay, here we go. I can just pin it there. The next thing we do, we're gonna be marking the shoulder line. You see, there is a shoulder line going on the other side too. We simply feel it, mark it. Feel it, mark it, like that. Here you go, all the way to the waistline, and we'll chop this out. Okay, and then I'm gonna cut out, leaving like a seam allowance here. Okay, the extra is out. For the back, you know where the apex is? Kind of eyeball it where that hits. Make a notch there. Okay? So that way, usually for the back, notches are 2. That 2 notches indicate that's the back. So, and then we're just gonna be getting our 4th piece to do the side back. Now for the side back, what I did, I indicated the grain line on my piece of fabric, and this again, I'm gonna be putting it as if it's gonna be covering my shoulder here. I have enough room here, and it's gonna be going straight down. Like 90-degree crossing my waistline. What I'll do, I'll just pin for now so it won't move, and go straight, pin. Okay, now this will hold for me. The next thing I do is I'm gonna figure out where, like, it just fits to. Okay, let me just cut out the extra here. Okay, so I'll start fitting the center back, the side back actually, to this point here, pin, just pinning here so it won't move for me. Okay. Okay, now we're gonna be marking our points. First, this is my dart. I can see it from the back. Same for the shoulder. Okay. Okey-doke. I'm just trimming all the extra out. For the seams, I add 1/2 inch seam allowance, kind of. Okay. And now I'm ready to do the armhole. For the armhole, this is what you do. Okay, and then the side seam you mark. And waistline. Gonna be cutting the armhole out. And this. when I put all my pieces together, I need to have notches. You need to remember. Okay, this already have an indication where they're gonna go. I marked these lines together, so this indicates my back. The side seams, in order to have it, see how nicely it fits? Okay, in order to have them together, this is what you can do. You can mark it or maybe put notches there. You can do like 3 of them. So this is your side. So that way it matches up, okay? That's it, we're done. Now it's gonna fit my mannequin.
Markings on the pattern go from here to the paper pattern and over to your notations for weekly and daily journal.